kids as I can, and sleep, yes, is probably at a minimum in my house, but it's worth it. You know, I live a full life. And there's also that other part of emulating the kind of woman you want to be for your kids. You know, I want my daughter and I want my son to know that they've got a strong mom. They've got somebody that works hard, that cares about humanity, that wants to make a difference, leave a mark, wants to mentor other people, and wants to make a difference particularly in this field of journalism. So yeah, hard decisions to make. Just hurry up and make them.
Yeah, exactly.
Hallelujah. Yeah, and that's there's some meta narratives in there that we can, talk about later. But the whole idea that you can be balanced is just like forget about it. Kelly wanted to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I did want to echo what Marcy said, which that was excellent. But I just wanted to point out there are all sorts of different models, and we don't get to hear about all of them. So there is the nanny model, there is the working part-time or taking a few years off. In my case, my husband and I made a decision that I was going to continue to be the primary breadwinner, and he worked part-time, and in many ways we had a very traditional marriage. We just had role reversal. That happened, so I was able to, I could only take 6 months for each of my children, and yes, I made decisions on the job as well about which jobs I would take, but there are lots and lots of models out there, not just the 2 or 3 that you might see on sitcoms.
Yeah, and models that might include men taking time off so that women don't pay the economic price too, as another model. We just have one more response and then your question, okay?
Yeah, again, when I was talking to a colleague about this, as I often do, and she actually has 4 kids, and she's our health reporter, and she does an amazing job. And I sort of said, like, how do you do that? And she said, every mat leave, I felt terrified. I felt awful. I thought, I'm in such a good spot. I don't want to leave. And then she says, it is so refreshing to be able to, she says, I think it makes me a better reporter. Because I can take a year off, I can clear my head, I can concentrate on my kids, and then I come back, I'm invigorated, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to be back in the newsroom. And I think that was really refreshing to hear her say that. Another thing that she said that sort of stuck with me was that having kids, she was like, I have a better work-life balance than half the people in this newsroom because I have to. And she said, because I have to be home and I have to pick up my kids at daycare by 6. So if I'm not done my story by 6, I have to. So she said it forces you to really juggle and to have a better work-life balance. So she had a really positive perspective on what mat leave has sort of done for her, and it's a perspective that was frankly very reassuring, because I often see it cast in this like doom and gloom, like, oh no, you're gonna.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
It was just a comment. I've been working for 2 years in QMI News Agency's investigative unit in Montreal, and I'm so grateful for my boss, who's a man. He was the first one to take a paternity leave when he was at the Gazette, and he constantly emphasizes how happy he is to have a woman's perspective. And he's very positive, and he always tells me that if there's anything in the newsroom that makes me feel uncomfortable, I can talk to him. He's worked in the States, he's had this training, and in the newsroom in the last 2 years, I know 2 women have had babies, 3 young men have had kids. I don't know, like, most people are parents, and I have no fears about the future. I know it could be challenging probably, but I feel like the climate is quite welcoming.
So for you, that support's really important, and
the men's role is really
absolutely
important.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, there was a question over here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear the panelists' perspective on women in the op-ed pages. I don't have stats on hand, but I know that there are not enough women who are writing columns across the country. And I'd be interested to know if you feel that might be an issue, because when you are writing a column, you're putting yourself out there so much more than you are as a reporter, and you're putting yourself out there for scrutiny and whatnot. I'd be interested to hear what the panelists have to say.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, and certainly in my research, a lot of the women said they wouldn't want to be out there expressing an opinion. And one newspaper where there are no women managers at all said, I don't know what a columnist really would do, so I'm kind of afraid. And she was a very talented reporter. So, anybody want to tackle that one?
I'd love to take that one.
I'd like to also.
Okay.
I had a female colleague of mine. I wrote a letter to the Globe and Mail because I was mad about a column that I'd read. And I started getting hate mail cross-country from men, actually. And they found me on Google, and they were emailing me at home. And I was looking at it. So anyways, another column came up about a week later, and my female colleague, I said, you know, are you going to, she said she was upset about the thing. She said, I said, are you going to write in? And she said, are you kidding? You know, and I'm not putting myself out there. And I think there's a lot of women that say the same thing about leadership. You know, if you're going to put yourself out there, it's very tough. I mean, I feel sorry for the mayors and the you know, the MPs that do put themselves out there, because it's a tough job. And I think a lot of women to express a very strong opinion and then allow yourself to get hit on it, it's not a comfortable position to be in. But we really feel strongly about our op-ed pages. You know, we're always looking for women that will express with passion and eloquence their viewpoints. It's really important to mix up the op-ed pages, but try to find some. Sometimes it's really hard.
And it's hard even to get women to be sources to write op-ed pieces when they're not journalists. I do work with women academics, and they, oh, you know, I can't express an opinion, you know, in the newspaper. Well, you can. Patricia, you wanted to speak to this?
Well, I just wanted to mention Sherry Graydon and InformedOpinions.org, which is an organization that is dedicated to getting more female voices. It started on the op-ed page. Now it has sources and things like that. And in fact, she's got a survey running right now. So if you go to InformedOpinions.org, you should be able to find it. And she's trying to identify the barriers to getting more female sources in the newsroom. In my experience, and I was an editorial page editor for a while, men like to express their opinion, and women do not. And and also men have more time. They still have more time than women, especially if you're juggling work and family. So it is a struggle, and you have to be conscious of it. And, you know, editorial page editors have to try and achieve balance. And then, you know, also when you try to achieve balance on your editorial pages, what's out there in the way of opinion from women tends to lean towards the lifestyle content, which doesn't make things necessarily any better. So it's a struggle, but informedopinions.org.
Yeah, she's terrific. Doing a lot of work with university women to get them to learn how to craft opinion pieces. I'm getting the hook here.